Hey guys, it is Emma here. Welcome to our Friday Live. We have Sheri from Cruise Tips TV here this week, which I'm so excited about. She's just run off to get a cup of tea, which I think is a fantastic idea. It's 9 a.m. where she is, which is crazy to me. It is 5 p.m. here in the UK. We've even got some people in the chat who are joining us from Saturday, which is very, very impressive. So hello to Stephen, who's already in Saturday. Hello to Marcus and Jeremy and everybody who's joining us today. I have seen a few comments from people asking who Sheri is, which kind of confused me because I assumed if anybody was on YouTube and anybody had any interest in cruising, that you would know what Cruise Tips TV is and who Sheri is. But if not, you're in for a treat. Sheri is absolutely lovely. I feel very flattered that she's given me the time and come and talk to us today. She's a very, very busy lady. Hello to Dom and Pete. Hello to Scott. Hello to Jenny. She's just run off to get a cup of tea. My cup of tea is here. I also have squash as well because sometimes I get quite thirsty on these live streams. Captain Hudson is on deck. He is wandering around, so I think we may be graced by his presence today. But the more I show interest in him, the less likely we are to get Hudson on this live stream. So I'm going to pretend. The thing is Celebrity Cruises sent me a box for their Celebrity Cruises are going all inclusive. So they sent me a box and it's got very fancy champagne in it. And at the moment, the box has just got Hudson's blanket in it because, you know, that's a good prize for him as the champagne is for me. So hello to everybody who is in here. I can't believe we've got Sheri from Cruise Tips TV on today. I feel a bit starstruck. I've watched Sheri on YouTube for I don't know. I don't even know. She says, hey, everybody. I will just get her straight in now as long as she's got a cup of tea and she's ready. You ready, Sheri? She looks ready. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Hello, Sheri.
Hi, everybody. I can't come onto Emma's show without a proper cuppa, right? That would just
Definitely
be wrong.
not. I have my most extravagant cup. Look at that one. It looks like a cartoon cup of tea.
Oh, that's pretty, Emma.
Thanks, my mum got it for me. I love it.
That.
But it's quite it's not very practical. It's, you know, like it's not very deep, but there's a lot of potential to spill that cup of tea.
It's beautiful. There is with those wide mouth ones. I have my practical camping mug here. It's like it's hot to touch, and so I'm gonna have to let that cool for a moment.
How is your part of the world? We've even got people in here from Saturday, which is very strange. You're just starting your Friday. I'm ready for dinner, and we've got people in Saturday. How's your side of the world?
It's great. It's a beautiful day in California. It's sunny. I have the day off work, so that's wonderful. And what a great way to start the day with you. Finally, after all these years, you and I get to hang out together. I don't know what we were thinking, why we didn't do this sooner, but it's wonderful to be here.
This for me is one good thing that's come out of this pandemic is I've actually sat down and had conversations with people like this, which is really good. I don't know why we didn't do it before.
I don't either.
I just never had the time, but to get you and me both having time at the same time, I think we've done very well. I think we're both quite busy people.
I think so, but I would love to invite you to come onto my Instagram. So let's do the split screen Instagram thing. I think that would be so fun. And it's easier to set things up on Instagram. We literally can just go live and you can join and it's done. There's no tech. So let's make that our next mission.
That sounds super. Sometimes people, you know, when they're doing an Instagram live and you're joining and then they invite you to go on and I'm sat here in pajamas at like 10 p.m. completely not doing it. And I get messages like, you said you'd talk to me. Yes, but during the daytime when I'm, you know, not just got out of the bath with my hair in a thing, I'm not up for kind of impromptu live streams. But this is nice. I do this every week now. And this is just super, super casual. We just chat. Loads of people in the comments have got questions for us. We had one right at the beginning that said, tell me some good news. So do you have any good news that we can share, we can start with? I try and keep this nice and positive. I know we've got the Sea Dream situation over in the Caribbean. They've got 5 or 6 cases. That's not great, but good things are happening too. Like I'm feeling quite optimistic. I don't know if you are, but 2021 feels like it's going to be a good year.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I think you're right. It's so hard because of what's happened with Sea Dream. I feel like we all feel like, okay, this is not good. That didn't help. But there
No.
is so much, yeah, no, but there is so much good news this week, starting with Royal Caribbean opening up some sort of sign up sheet or waiting list or whatever you want to call it for their test cruises. That was cool. I think it just gives people hope, and it's exciting. And they were the first cruise line to do it. So I think that created a buzz of energy, even if we did have a little buzzkill with the Sea Dream situation. It was also the Sea Dream situation too was exacerbated because it's very high profile. You had
Mhm.
Not only did you have media on board, but you had the whole world watching because here they come across the Atlantic and boom, once they hit these Caribbean waters is when things started to go south. And it was, you know, the news media, of course, is going to be looking for this train wreck. So,
Mhm.
it's a tough one, Emma.
It
It's a
is
tough
tricky. I
one.
mean, we've had so many successful cruises over here
Yeah.
in Europe, not from the UK, and I feel like I'm constantly shouting to people like when things are followed, it works very well. MSC have
Right.
done amazingly. They've had thousands and thousands of people on their ships, and it's gone really well. So it's kind of like no one listens to these things. We've had lots of good things, but it only takes one little hiccup, doesn't it? But yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
haven't
been
filled
cruising
out
for
that
3
form
straight
yet.
months? You haven't done it?
Yeah. Well, I haven't because I'm in the UK and I assumed it was for Americans because I can't get out of the UK at the minute.
You can't.
But I might as well put my name on the list
Yeah.
because at some point, I should be able to get out of the UK. But I just saw it and assumed it was just for Americans because it followed all of the CDC's kind of removal of the cruise ban. So I haven't done it yet. I will do it. I'll do it after this. I saw you made a video about it. I'll watch that. Then I'll sign
Yeah.
up because I'd
It
love to.
now asks for your 3-digit country code, which is very interesting because when I saw the form yesterday in the early morning hours in the US,
Mhm.
the 3-digit country code was not on there. So they added that later in the day, which was really interesting. I think you should
Yeah.
definitely do it. And speaking of
Yeah.
MSC, by the way, haven't they been cruising successfully for nearly 3 months? Didn't they restart
Mhm.
in August? I mean, that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's
I
a pretty darn good track record.
Yeah, they're over 10, I think, consecutive cruises now without issue. So it's pretty
Yeah,
good. And there's lots of different cruise lines too that are doing it,
it's
but just no
amazing.
one listens to those. So I think it's good because I mean MSC cruise out of the US too. So when they're
Right.
ready to do that, they've tested everything. I feel like every time a new cruise guideline comes out, I don't know if you feel the same, but they're just copying the same thing that already works because
Right.
it works. Why would you not? I would
Yeah.
like to say thank you, John, for your super sticker. John is on everything I'm on live. John is watching, and I really appreciate it. We've got so many people in here who come back week after week. And for us in the UK, we're winding down now. This is when I've got my blanket. I normally have my cat. We're getting ready for dinner. And yeah, it's just, I really like this. I think I'm going to keep this up even when we're not doing lockdown 2 here in the UK. What's it like where you are? Are you
Oh.
down?
Wow. Okay. So it's very complicated in the United States because of the fact
Yeah.
that we operate on a state by state basis. So every state is operating differently. The way that our state here in California operates is a color system. So if you are in the most high risk color, meaning you have what's called widespread basically disease,
Hmm.
which is not very many cases at all. It's something like 7 per 100,000 people, but you're in what's called
Okay.
the purple tier. And then if you reduce those cases down for a solid 2 weeks, you move into the red tier, and then you
Hmm.
can move into the orange tier, and then down slowly until you're fully reopened. Where I live in Central California, we're fortunate because we are in the red tier, and the red tier isn't too bad. Yes, the red tier. It sounds very bad. It sounds like you're in the
It does,
red,
yeah. It
but
does a bit.
it's not horrible. Mask wearing is a statewide mandate in California, so that's just a given.
Hmm.
Everybody has like 42 masks per person
Yeah,
here.
same.
Every
So
color
many.
matches, right? It matches every outfit. It's just a normal thing.
Hmm.
In California, that is not going to change. But for us in the red tier right now, restaurants are open for very limited indoor dining. So I think it's somewhere between 25 and 50%, but most restaurants have built outdoor seating, expansive outdoor seating in areas where the weather is good enough. Where we are, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So it feels better now. Retail's fully open. I don't anticipate sliding backwards too much. It could happen if, there is a very strict system in California. It's all based on numbers. So hopefully we'll stay there. I know that in Los Angeles County and, the bigger cities, it can be more difficult, but we're getting there and we're doing okay. Our family has really stayed quite locked down though. Very small friend group, 3 or 4 families, and not any really. We haven't traveled anywhere. We went on one day trip during 108-degree heat wave in September, where we just got in the car, drove to the beach, and then
Oh.
drove home. And other than that, we've had kind of our own personal lockdown because we just, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? I mean, let's
Yeah.
just hold out for cruise travel if we can here.
Yeah, it's the same here. We did have this type of tier system. I was in the lowest tier, we were all fine, but then the whole of England went back into lockdown too. So at the moment, our restaurants are closed, our bars are closed. To be honest, I hadn't really been out doing these things anyway, so it doesn't make a massive difference. But right now, I can't see my parents or see anyone. So we're hoping that by Christmas, we can at least see someone in our family, but it kind of needed to, at least if this is supposed to be a month, so hopefully a month of this and then things will be better. But at least you have that, because here they did try and do the dine outside thing, but it's raining, it's grey, no one wants to sit outside at this time of year in the UK, so it's a bit more tricky.
Exactly.
We have loads of questions in here. I don't know if you follow Ben on Instagram. He makes these amazing Lego cruise ships. I don't know if you've seen them. He's always down in Southampton with these huge things. Recently, he's been going by himself because, you can't have people meeting up. But pre all of this, he would take his ships down there and people would go and take photos of them. I think Ben's 13 or some amazing, like, really incredible. So I just wanted to shout out to Ben.
Hi, Ben. My son
Hi,
is going
Ben.
to love you. My son is 11, and I will be subscribing to Ben's channel the moment we're done. I was going to write it down, and I was like, I can just watch the replay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just wanted to say hi because I see these go by, and I'm thinking, if I tried to make a cruise ship out of Lego, my goodness, it would be awful. They're so good.
Me too.
I have a question from Jackie who says, isn't your pal Dario on a cruise right now? He's actually not on a cruise right now. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram and YouTube and stuff, but he's been on a few of the MSC cruises, the TUI cruises, and right now he's not, but that's out of character for him at the moment because he's been on so many. But in Europe, in Italy, in Germany, the coronavirus numbers are going up and places are going back into lockdown again. So things are kind of not as open as they were in summer. Hardly surprised because, we're going into winter now, but fingers crossed as we go into next year, things will be much better. So do you have anything planned for next year? Because I had one cancelled and then I've got a couple of plans, but I'm not sure at the moment.
Same here. I know Michelle had just asked that in the chat. She said, do you have anything booked? So
Yeah.
I do, Michelle. I put down a deposit on a 14-night Alaska cruise. And then right after that news came that cruises from the US probably couldn't exceed 7 nights. So I'm just praying that by summertime that the CDC reconsiders the duration limit on cruises, because I would like more than anything to do that. That is the only thing I even have a deposit on. And we've just been trying to wait because for us, it's so hard to plan things. You know how it is, Emma, with work and everything. It's
I just booked now though, and I saw that out later.
Yeah, and you sort it out later. Yeah, I was doing that for a while there, and now my husband is like the voice of reason. He's like, you know what? There will be cabins. It's going to be okay. Let's just hang in there. And that's what we've been doing. But I go through phases of insanity. Like because we haven't been on a cruise since last Thanksgiving. And so the whole reason we got into this is because I love to travel, period. So I go through phases where I'm like, honey, I can't handle it anymore. We've got to go to an all-inclusive. He's like, okay, just take a deep breath. Let's really think this through. Do you really want to fly? Do you really want to? So it's hard. It's just, it feels like Groundhog Day to me. It's like, it feels like it's never going to end.
Yeah, I have a couple books just because I booked the new P&O ship, Iona, because the deposit was about £40 or it was like $50. It was so little that it was like, even if I'm just investing $50 in this cruise company, that's fine.
Yeah.
That was for January, so that's been cancelled. I've booked Anthem of the Seas, so hopefully that will go ahead. That's in May.
Yes. And where is that one? Where would you be going on?
That's Norway.
Oh, my dream.
I'm trying to stay close to home for this next year, because I think it's just so much easier rather than having to worry about flights and things. And there's really nice places you can go from the UK, but being from the UK, I always think I'll fly somewhere and get some sunshine. I'm bored of English weather, but yeah, so that's my next plan is next May. And I think so much is going to be different by next May. Do you not think?
I do. I mean, I sure hope so.
Like,
I mean, and we need to get through flu season first and foremost. I think we are in for a tough flu season. People haven't been getting really, unless you got COVID, I don't think a whole lot of people have been getting a whole lot of colds and flus because they're not going out as much. So I feel like we're in for some trouble this year with that. And then I think once that lifts, yeah, we'll see. I hope so, Emma. So you really only have the one booked. I mean, you normally have like 6 things on the horizon, right?
I know. Yeah, for 2020, I had quite a good plan. I had quite a few things going on, but yeah, they just dropped away one by one. But I'm ready when cruises are ready. I'm close to the cruise port. I will just book it and then get the time off work. I don't care anymore. So when things come up, I'm ready to go. I'm lucky that I have taken basically no annual leave this year, and I can take it over to next year. So I'm planning on having 2 years worth of annual leave next year, which for me is going to be almost 2 months.
Yep.
So I'm ready then. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't feel the need to book things, because when something shows up, I'm just going to go. I think that's kind of my plan at the moment.
Perfect. That's exactly what we're thinking is why book something when you can have, hopefully there will be this new demand, and there, of course, it's going to be our pent up demand, but there's going to be a lot to do once things resume. And we're with you 100%. Driving to port sounds fantastic. Well, we can drive to Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, and it sounds a lot more enticing than flying. So again, you and I have a lot in common. We always do.
I think we do. I do wonder how much of the cruise information in my brain has just come from you over the years. Because way before I ever I didn't know cruise YouTube was a thing. You were on it a few years before me, I think. I think 2013, 14 you started, didn't you?
2013.
So far back, I can't even think. But I'm sure everything's just been dripped into my brain about cruising. I'm sure. I can't prove it, but over the years, I think we're very, very similar in our cruising style. I think we're kind of trying to make cruising less scary for people who have no idea and listen to all of these cruising words. And I don't blame people for feeling overwhelmed, because even you and me, who've been in this forever, sometimes I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
Right.
So for first-time cruisers, do you think people have been put off for if they're trying now?
Oh yeah, I think new cruisers are very likely going to be reticent, although I don't believe that that's the case for the millennial generation. I think that millennials are probably feeling like, okay, I'm a low risk human, so I might be able to get out there and do it. And I think that there's probably certain populations though that are going to be scared off. And unfortunately, very sadly, I think that it's really our older generations that are going to take a few years to really wait this thing out, and that's actually what worries me. But I think our younger generation will give cruising a chance. And hopefully more of us can get out there and go do things like Perfect Day at Coco Key and show the true nature of cruising, which I know is your mission too, to show how fun it can be and how certainly how it is not boring, that we'll be able to make an impact and get people out there regardless.
I'm sure whenever I see you doing anything on Instagram, you're in the water, you're on a zip line, you're doing something that's definitely fun on a cruise. I think with the kind of, some people are hardcore cruisers. You and me are not going to change on that. My gran is 93. She cruises all the time. And I think she's on the other end of that, because she thinks, might as well go on a cruise. Assuming she can afford travel insurance, that's the thing. That's going to be very expensive. But I think she's going to go the other way. She's not going to be thinking, I'll wait for a few years. She's going to be thinking, life's too short, let's go on a cruise, which is, I think, where I get it from.
Yeah. I love it. It sounds like Gran is in good health and has a great approach. I love it.
She loves it. She loves cruising with Cunard, and she gets them to bring her like a hot milk at night and stuff. She gets like really waited on. So I would love that to be me when I'm that age, still cruising and getting waited on.
Oh, it will, Emma. It will.
I hope so. Who knows what cruising will be like by then? Like, I don't know, but I'm ready. I'm up for it.
I'm ready too. I'm hoping for the resurgence of small ships, not super small, but more the traditional, like the little Holland America, Maasdam type ships. I really hope that through this pandemic that there's someone who gets wise to the fact that not everyone wants to go on mega ships. I like a good mega ship here and there, but I'd be thrilled if someone created a 1,500 passenger vessel. And I think that hopefully that'll be the wave of the future too. I'm looking at the chat, by the way, guys. I want to see what everybody's up to. There's so much good stuff going on. I know.
I'm sorry, guys. If I stop to read your comments, then I wouldn't have any time to talk to Sheri, which would be yeah. Well,
I'm in no hurry. We got plenty of time, Emma.
With the ship size, Norwegian's newest ships are actually smaller than the last ones, aren't they? Which I think is the first time that's happened in I don't even know how long. Ships just tend to get bigger and bigger. So hopefully, I think for me, 2,000, 2,500 passengers is about my favorite kind of size.
I love that size too. That's about the Grand Class Princess ship, which you and I both love those ships. Some of our favorite cruises are Japan, Asia, Tokyo to Singapore cruises. You and I both would say that was probably our favorite.
Hands down, and it's so good to have a go-to favorite cruise when people ask me, because I just say that one. It was so good.
It's hard to describe it to people, though, isn't it? It's so difficult to say what makes it so special, because it's more about the people and, of course, the variety of ports. But it's all about this sort of feeling you get when you pull in, like when you were leaving port and they would serenade you by. It's just so hard. It's just so hard to describe. It's so beautiful and amazing.
I just feel like I went to places I would have never gone to if it wasn't for that cruise. There's no way I would have just shown up in, Osaka and been like, I'm here for the day, guys. Because it's hard. You can't just go on the train the same way I would at home, or people speak English, but it's not as easy. So that's what I liked, is being able to try places I'd never been to, but also have the safety of the cruise ship where I knew, I know what all the food is like.
Yeah. It's different when you don't speak the language. That was really alarming for us in Asia too. And not only can you not speak the language, but you can't read it at all. And so that's a little intimidating.
You can't even try. You can't try, like, not at all. Really tricky. But I think cruises for places like that are just the absolute best. Do you know why they're limiting some of the cruises to 7 nights? Because I don't understand that.
I can only conjecture why they're doing it. I think that the longer probably the thinking is that the longer people are on the ship, the more likely things are to get out of hand. And also, I think what they want in the beginning is they want to limit port stops. And by way of limiting port stops, you probably need to take shorter cruises. I think it's a little bit odd myself, and they didn't say in the order. I don't think that they outlined why they were doing that, but I just think that it's probably because they want to try to control as much as they can. But then, of course, everybody's asking, well, why can't I just do it back to back? Like, that's what I would do.
Exactly.
Like, I'll just book 2 in a row. But I have a funny feeling the CDC is going to find their way to limit that.
I would have thought it would be easier for them to have less turnaround days. Like, I just thought they'd have less fresh people on, if that makes sense. They know they've already done the tests. Keep the same people for longer would be better. But strange. Yeah.
Mike and Cheryl want to know our thoughts on the Sea Dream yacht fiasco.
I know. Oh, I think it's a shame, because they didn't wear masks on there, did they? And I wouldn't go anywhere without wearing a mask at the moment. So that made me nervous when I first saw that. I think it could happen regardless. Anyway, it's a risk you take at the moment, but I just hate it. It had to be this cruise with all of the journalists on it, the bloggers on it, the one that's being watched, which I just think it's a shame, because that's what it's for, people that don't understand cruising.
Right.
It must be so annoying for Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, who are doing everything they can, and then in the news is cruising has COVID, and they're saying like, you know, we're not, that's not us. It's a very small yacht, like 50 people or something, isn't it? It's tiny.
Yeah.
So to have the cruise industry resting on that little ship with a few people on it, I think it's a massive shame. But what's your thoughts? I'm gonna stop.
That's a very, very much echoes how I feel about it. I think it's actually a disaster for North American cruising, because even though the Sea Dream is not really cruising out of North American waters right now, it is sort of perceived to be, because here they were sailing so successfully over in Europe for a while with no problems. They had created this bubble. The transatlantic was successful. And now that they're over here, which it's not really even true, they're kind of cruising out of Barbados, it feels closer to home. And it's not going to help, because it's been so high profile. And I think I'm really upset about it. I think it's a total setback for the industry, even though that particular line is not monitored or really even governed by the CDC at all. It's just a slap in the face to think that they were like too good for the masks, and it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
I just don't know. Here we wear masks everywhere, so
same.
If someone said, "Oh, in this place you don't have to," I'd be like, I probably will, because I quite like wearing a mask, to be honest. It's cold here all the time. Keeps my face warm. I have no problem with it. I've got one of the expensive Under Armour ones, which is well worth the investment. They're like sports ones. I haven't done sports in them, but they're made of this. You can like stick your tongue out with it in, because it's off your face. They're amazing.
Really? I'm gonna get one of those. It was Under Armour.
Under Armour, yeah, it was Sean and Steph who had them first, and I saw those, and they convinced me to get one, and I got one. So it's more expensive than the other ones, but every time I have to wear any other mask, I'm disappointed, because it's so comfortable. You genuinely, it's not like get out of a place and want to take off the mask. It's like, I put this on just to keep me warm, because it feels nice, and it's a nice material, and it's just good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting one, and I think I saw Sean and Steph in the chat earlier too.
Oh, are they? I'm sorry if I've missed you, Sean and Steph. Yeah, Sean and Steph are in here. We've got Tommy in here who says, "Has Sheri ever had a Yorkshire pudding?" I sent Tommy on a Yorkshire pudding mission for years, and he finally found one, and he sent me a photo of him having a Yorkshire pudding.
Do you know he's making a joke about me, though, Emma? He knows my Yorkshire pudding story. He knows. Tommy loves to do this to me. Okay, so I will make it quick, Tommy, because I know there are lots of other questions in the chat. However, my husband and I, when we went to London for the first time, having never been, we had heard about Yorkshire pudding, but we had no idea what it was. So we walked into a pub and said, "We'll have the Yorkshire pudding." And they're like, "Well, love, don't you want anything in it?" And we're like, "What?" Like, and then we realized, we're like, it's just a pastry. Like, you need to put things in it. It has gravy. And they thought we were the biggest morons at this pub. And so I think ultimately we did get something in it, like stew or gravy, but Tommy's totally teasing me. He's totally teasing me.
How did you even manage to order that? I mean, thought it'd be on the menu, just a Yorkshire pudding.
It was like a okay. So it was like a buffet. So you walked up to the counter and you would say, "I want that," and they would serve it to you. So
I don't think that's that bad. If you wanted to try, if you said, "I just want to try a Yorkshire pudding," I've sent a lot of Americans on Yorkshire pudding missions. I sent Sean and Steph on one. They did a P&O cruise. I sent them a mission. I don't think they ever managed to find it, but you're right. Sean and Steph are in the chat. I don't think they found it. And the P&O buffet, if you like British food, I think it's the best. It is a bit strange for me to go on a cruise and just have the kind of same food you have at home.
Yeah.
But they do it very well. So I always suggest Americans, if they want to have a proper British cruise from the UK, take a P&O cruise. They've got our flag on the front. You might as well be surrounded by British people. Some of the comedy doesn't really translate, but why not?
I would love to do that. I had the best fish and chips of my entire life in Gibraltar, and it's obviously British colony, I guess you could say. I don't know if would you call it Gibraltar a colony? And it was so good, and the peas and all that good stuff. So yeah, I love British food. Just not Yorkshire pudding because I don't know how it works. I still don't really know how it works.
Well, normally it would just be on kind of the side of a dinner. You'd have like a roast meat and roast potatoes and vegetables, with Yorkshire puddings kind of on the side to go with everything. They've started doing Yorkshire pudding as a wrap now, so you can get your food inside wrapped up in Yorkshire pudding. Very good. For the people who don't know what a Yorkshire pudding is, it's quite hard to describe. It's pretty much a pancake. The mixture is pretty much a pancake, but it puffs up, and you have it with your dinner. It's not a pudding. I don't know why it's called a pudding, but it's one of the best foods in the world. Nick says, does Sherry know what a toad in the hole is? This is a...
I feel like it's something sausage wrapped in something, like a pancake or something. What is it?
It's Yorkshire puddings with sausages in them. So they're the little toads, and it's the little hole.
I love it.
Sean and Steph say P&O was so British. I was interested to see Americans going on a P&O cruise. I haven't seen many do it before, but when Sean and Steph did it, I watched every single one of those videos. And some of the things that they found really interesting were things that I'd never even thought about. So Sean and Steph came to see me. I took them for fish and chips because, of course, and things like they loved our trains. They couldn't believe that Mind the Gap was a real gap when they got on the train and stuff like that. That I never looked at these things before, but it was just, it's interesting to see where you live through someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
That was strange. But everyone seems to like Yorkshire puddings.
So funny. I love it. I'm looking for questions. You're already on it though.
Yeah, most of the comments right now are about Yorkshire puddings, and shepherd's pie is good. Yeah, I do like shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie
Jeremy.
is like
Oh yeah, shepherd's pie. Love shepherd's pie.
Can't go wrong with a shepherd's pie.
Wonderful. Yes, and I like to make it as well. I think it's so good. Jeremy Osborne has one. Did you see that one, Emma?
I see Jeremy Osborne talking about Yorkshire puddings, but that's about it.
He says, Cruise Tips TV, is your group going to be part of the Vlogger Extravaganza cruise?
Oh,
Emma, you're being coy about it. You're being coy about it? Why are you being coy about it?
It's in 2023 and it's halfway across the world. I have no idea what I'm doing in 2023. If I'm free at the time, I'd love to come. It looks great. There's lots of cool people on it, but I can't commit to 2023. I have no idea. Are you committed, or if you're passing?
No. They're so sweet though. They did invite us, and what I told them,
I was invited.
Yeah, I said, hey, I can't plan anything that far in advance, especially because of my work schedule. But there's another component to it as well, Jeremy, just to let you know, like the full story behind it. Cruise Tips TV wants to do a group cruise when we hit 100,000 subscribers. And so by the time that we get to 100,000 subscribers, because during the pandemic, our channel isn't growing all that much, to be honest.
You're on like 80 something, aren't you?
Yeah, but and just staying right there, which is good. It's okay. It's okay.
They're not gone.
Too far backwards. I'm happy. But the truth is that we'll prioritize that before we do a big collaboration like that. So, and by the time all of this this global health crisis kind of clears up, we'll need a year to plan our own. So I don't think we'll be on that cruise, but we'll probably try to do something for our community before that. That's my dream and my hope, is that it happens before that. But it sounds like the world's most incredible event, this blogger cruise, and they're going to sell that ship out. If it's going to be completely,
it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be
I mean, I would love to go. There's no way I can commit to 2023, and it's not as if it's close by where I can just go. It's quite a lot of effort for me to get over there. So Hudson is wandering around. If anybody wants to see Hudson, I can scoop him onto the channel and he'll fight me. But please bear with him.
I should find my
Hi,
son. My
Hudson.
son loves Hudson.
Hi,
Where is
Hudson. Oh, there he is. Say
Oh,
hi.
hi, buddy. Hudson, look at the
Oh,
camera.
that way.
Look at the camera, Hudson. Look at the camera. Oh, cats will be cats. Playing on his
Oh,
turn.
Hudson.
He's
Go
so
up
cute.
there.
My son loves him.
Good boy. Go up there. There we go. You got a bit of
Raphael,
Hudson.
yes, Alaska. We want to do Alaska, Raphael, for sure. Got a deposit on one, Raphael. We'll see what happens. So
You can
fun.
have Hudson's tail. I had a terrifying dream last night.
Oh,
I've been watching Game of Thrones before I go to bed.
Good one.
And I had
Smart.
I had a dream I was in a Game of Thrones sort of situation, but I was trying to look after Hudson. It was very stressful.
Emma, that's horrible. Like a Game of Thrones situation could mean a lot of things. It could mean like an epic battle. It could mean winter is coming. Like
epic battle, and I'm trying to protect this cat from getting in the war. And it was very stressful when I woke up. I was worried about him. I don't know what that means. I know people like to analyze dreams, but protecting a cat in a Game of Thrones episode is not something that normally comes up. So,
where are you in Game of Thrones?
I'm only on season 3. I never watched it before. When I mention that I'm watching it, everyone says to me like, "Oh, how's the rewatch?" This is my first time.
Yeah, I was one of those too. I watched it about a year ago for the first time, but during the time when they were airing the last season, which is very controversial. And so it was really fun to talk about it with my colleagues at work because they were all rewatchers and I was the first time and they're like, have you seen this part yet? Have you seen that part yet? Has so-and-so died yet? It comes to a point where you feel like everyone dies.
Yeah.
And so I don't watch a whole lot of anything because I don't have time, but that is one show that I got very addicted to.
Yeah, I try and have like an hour of not doing cruise stuff before I go to bed to make myself stop. So that's my Game of Thrones hour, because you have to pay 100% attention to Game of Thrones, which is what put me off, because I'm always on my phone or doing something, but I've said no. The thing for me is I'll search someone's name to try and find out how to spell it, and it will come up with death scene, and I'm like, thanks.
Oh, no.
That's how I found out stuff.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
well,
it's my fault for being so many years late, but I'm loving it now.
It's good, but that may not be a bad thing because sometimes it can be a very emotional show, and I think you get attached to the characters. So I found that sometimes when I knew the spoilers, it was actually better because then I could emotionally detach from a character.
Well, I feel like everyone dies, so I'm trying not to attach to anybody. But yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. I thought it would be something I couldn't really pay attention to, but loving it. We have a question about your job. Is it related to the travel industry? Because you're so knowledgeable.
Oh my goodness, Allison, no, it is not. I probably should have gone into the travel industry. It is not. I work in leadership for a large US-based company. So it's more closely related to human resources and management, but nothing to do with travel. And it couldn't be more different, but I do love it. And I've been in the same job, the same company, not the same job. I've moved into different roles, but for 23 years. So almost as long as Emma's been alive, I've worked for the same company. Emma and I love to tease each other about that. But it's wonderful. It's rewarding. It pays for my cruises and it's fantastic. I love what I do and I have no plans on leaving.
That's good. And it gives you the kind of insight of what everybody else has, trying to fit work into their cruises into their time off work, which I think is tricky sometimes. I've got quite good at using kind of public holidays to get in a long weekend and do a mini cruise, things like that. I had quite a few kind of little cruises booked this year because I could do it over a weekend and only use a day of work. Obviously, nothing has happened this year, but it's tricky. Hudson is making a right racket. He's exploring his box that came from Celebrity Cruises. I'll share a picture later.
Hudson, keep your hands off that champagne. Keep your paws off that champagne.
It's very fancy champagne. I don't think I've ever drunk such fancy champagne. I don't know when is a good time to drink this. Should I save it for a special occasion? Hudson's back again. Now he's running. I don't know what's up with him.
It's so funny.
I just sometimes, because behind the camera is my kitchen, and sometimes I see him walk across the worktop, and he knows he's not allowed to, and he doesn't do it any other time other than when I'm on live stream, because he knows I'm probably not going to go and get him. Yeah, he's smart
like that. He's a very smart cat.
Yeah.
Oh my
We have a
goodness.
question that says, what is the scariest cruise you've ever been on? But I've never found a cruise to be scary. I don't think. I mean, I shaved my head, didn't I? That was quite scary. So that one.
That was awesome when you did that. I was like, whoa.
I forget I
On
did that.
Morella. You shaved your head on Morella, right?
I did. It just escalated. It wasn't really a plan. I was just going to do it at home, and then I booked this cruise, and they said, "Do you want to do it on the cruise?" Because I planned just to not. I didn't want to shave my head and then go on the cruise and be like a little fluffy Kiwi.
Yeah.
So I just So I just said, I literally just tweeted and said, "By the way, guys, I'm postponing my head shave because I'm going on a cruise." And they messaged me and said, "Do you want to do it on the cruise?" So I said, "Okay," thinking in the hairdressers or something.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Well, if you're doing it, do you want to do it on the stage?" And I was like, "At this point, why not?" And then they said, "Do you want the captain to do it?" And I was like, literally, why not? But the thing is it was before the evening show. And people had gone there to watch they didn't go there to watch me shave my head. They went there to watch the show. So
like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, obviously some people there who knew what was going to happen and were there to support me. Lovely. But then there were other people who just sat there like, just like what? It was really strange. You can see them because they filmed it for me and they filmed the audience. And some of them just look really
like, what?
I'm not entertaining enough for them. Yeah. But
so
that's
Emma,
my scariest cruise.
Have you cut your hair since, or are you just allowing it? Okay, so you get little trims.
I've cut it so many times. My hair grows super fast. I could have had double this hair in the time, I'm sure.
Well, I've never been on a real scary cruise, but I will say I've had some very rough seas. To us it wasn't scary, it was more thrilling, but we've had seas so rough that we've had water bottles roll off of our nightstand. And we've had slamming of the front of the ship where we typically book cabins all the way at the front or the back because they're less expensive and we're bargain hunters like Emma. And so if you're especially at the front, you'll get the rolling of the ship, but you'll also get the up and down and you'll get the wave slam. And we've had some nights when we were woken up by it and you really think, am I going to roll out of bed? So that's probably the only thing. I don't think we've ever done anything too scary.
No, I think, I'm not going to top shaving my head. That's the scariest thing. But generally, cruising is not scary. That's kind of why I'm there. We've even got Don in here. We've got all of the community come out. Hi, Don. I watch Don's videos every day to keep up with the cruising news. He has some things to say about the situation on the Sea Dream. And I think we agree with that one. You could take a transatlantic to the Vloggers Cruise. That would be amazing. I would love to do a transatlantic. It's just the time off work for me at the minute. It would be my year done in one trip, which would make me sad. But I would like to do a transatlantic. Probably the other way though, because I'd want to come home on the ship so that I could be not jet lagged.
Well, now that you have 2 months of holiday, you can take a transatlantic from the UK over to Florida or New York, then jump on a 7-night Caribbean, and then you can fly home. And you're only going to use 3 weeks of vacation. But I agree. I would find a transatlantic a little bit boring at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're going on the transatlantic cruise with the sea days, I could bring plenty of stuff to entertain myself. But at the moment, it's just like for the time off work, I prefer to be doing different things and seeing different places. So I'd love to do a proper Cunard transatlantic Queen Mary 2.
Same here. I would love it too. All the traditions of cruising, all the gowns. Is that Hudson?
No, that's Hudson's dinner.
Okay, I was gonna say, what is he getting himself into?
So Hudson's on a diet. Because he's so overweight. He's the top line of the vet's graph. He's up there. So we've got him an automatic feeder that feeds him the right amount of food. And it's dinner time right now, which means Hudson will be back in a minute. That
is hilarious. Oh my goodness. I thought maybe he'd knock something over.
I need to change it so it's not mid live stream every Friday, but since I set that up, I have no idea how to change the time. But hi, Don. Thank you for joining us.
Don. So good to see you, Don.
Everyone says hi to Don. Hi, Don. Hi, Don. Hi, Don. Hi, everyone, says Don. I think I'll cover it all off.
Hi, everyone. I love it.
My goodness. Sorry, guys. I just can't keep up with your comments. I love live streams, but I feel bad for not being able to, read every single thing. But I appreciate your comments anyway. And I go back and I read them all afterwards. So all of these streams are available after this forever to catch up on. So if anyone can't catch these on the Fridays, they're still there. They're still there forever.
Still there. I'm kind of scanning through the comments too. Jackie said, Sheri, ask Emma about her partner/housemate. She doesn't say
Housemate.
about him, but we need to get the scoop on how serious this relationship is.
Well, my
wow,
partner
Jackie.
/ housemate, his name is Jono. I took him on his first cruise years and years ago. He agreed to go on the cruise. I didn't ask him about the cruise. I just told him we're going on a cruise. And since then, he's been on a lot of cruises with me. We've been together for 7 years or something like that. We lived together. We bought this house a few years ago. So pretty good, yeah. But he has no interest in being this side of the camera. And I have no interest in forcing him to be. And it suits me that he's behind it. He does like graphics and all the behind stuff for me.
I was going to ask you how much of that he did. That's so cool.
Well, he's all into his photography and things, and I don't understand any of that stuff. So whenever I have any technical problems, he fixes all of that, which I appreciate. I'm fine being on this side, but I don't understand camera lenses and God, no idea.
Yeah, no, neither do I. And I don't have any interest in it either.
Me
Unless
neither.
on a very basic level, I have interest. But then once it gets to this certain level and my husband starts talking about something, he knows that I tune it out. And
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
la la la, thinking about dinner,
Yeah.
But it's
I'm
okay.
just like,
it's okay to have a balance.
I'm like, Jono, can you make this look like more fuzzy in the background, like not photography terms at all? Like I have not a clue, but there's no time to learn everything, all of these skills. We're already doing, you're in your website and YouTube and Instagram and every platform, and same with me too. So it's quite hard to keep up with. Quite hard.
Jeremy said that Jono is your secret weapon. He's your secret weapon.
Well, yeah, he lost his job recently because of COVID stuff. So right now he cooks my dinner, he cleans the house, he keeps everything going, which allows me to be here and just talking cruising all day. So it's fantastic. Obviously not great. He's been made redundant. He worked for a sports brand that's made more money this year than ever before. They didn't need to make everybody redundant, but they've moved everything up north. I'm down here in the south, and it's expensive here to have offices and things. So they just decided now was a good time to make everyone redundant and move it up.
Wow, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I still have my job, so I can still pay the bills and everything's okay. But yeah, it's 2020 really, isn't it? I think if that's the worst thing that happens, it's come out pretty okay.
Yeah, and sometimes these changes that are coming are going to allow people to stretch and grow and try new things maybe where they wouldn't have before. And in some cases, I think that can be really good. Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm thinking like I'm trying to find like positives from everything of this year, and it's been not a great year, but all things considered, could be worse. It's worse for so many other people. I mean, we're sat here talking about cruising on the internet. I've got a cup of tea and a blanket, so
right. And you're blessed to have your job at home. Being able to work at home is a blessing, and so eliminating that commute, right? Oh my gosh,
that's
Matt
amazing.
is here. What?
Exactly. We have literally everybody in the house. I'm feeling a bit starstruck from lots of different directions. This is very stressful, guys. Thank you for joining.
Oh, it's not
cool. Everything I know about Royal Caribbean right here. Every time I Google anything, I Google anything, straight to Royal Caribbean blog. It's very helpful. And your website comes up for me quite a lot too, Sheri. You've been doing like more website stuff recently, I think, because I used to think of you mainly as a YouTube channel, but all the time now when I'm just searching stuff, you're in my Google. My Google is pretending. I set it to the US to pretend I was an American recently. So that's been strange. If I search for like where I live and food or something, it will tell me the nearest one is in Florida. And I'm like, I forgot that I set this to the US. Or I'll search. So I'm in Brighton, and there's loads of Brightons, American Brightons and stuff, and it comes up with the weather, and I'm thinking, that doesn't sound like what I'm expecting. I'm expecting it to be rainy and grey, but yeah, I set everything online to pretend I'm an American so I can kind of be undercover. But your website comes up all the time for me now. Very helpful.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was another pandemic pivot for us. We just realized we have to do this, partially too because we were delivering more cruise news at the time, and we just really had wanted to buckle down and do the website, but it was a time management issue. Even though my husband is full time on our channel, he still didn't have time to do what was required to do a website migration. And so when the pandemic happened, actually, I took my son away for a few days so that my husband could concentrate on it, and it was an enormous amount of work, but we finally did it. It was the best decision we've ever made. But yeah, it is really great to see all these creators in the house. It's amazing.
So many.
Alana's here, and Matt, my cruising bestie, Matt is here. I mean, it's crazy. It's amazing.
Sorry guys, I cannot see you. You're going so fast.
I know
thank you for being here. It's super cool. We do watch Ben and David. I've been on cruises with Ben and David, known them since the first month of my cruising career, as you will. So yeah, love Ben and David and keeping up to date with the adventure. Let's call it their current adventure.
Their current adventure. I love them. They're so precious. They have a great Instagram as well. And one thing I love about Ben and David, and their editing quality is so incredibly beautiful.
Insane.
It's insane. It's so beautiful to watch their work. I love it, and I love how they take it so seriously. And I've enjoyed following them through the lockdown, through their cooking adventures at home, and they're the sweetest guys. We do.
I mean, anything they make could go straight onto TV. No one would question it. It's TV grade.
Totally.
So good.
Totally. Love it.
Do you have a dollar store equivalent in the UK? We have Poundland, and I did take inspiration from one of Sheri's videos years ago, and I made a Poundland cruise video. You get all kinds of cool things in there. The thing that confuses me about dollar store, in the UK, if I have a £1 coin and I go into Poundland, I can buy one thing. But in dollar store, if I take a dollar in there, there's all kinds of tax and maths going on, and I just don't understand it.
Yeah. And there's things that don't cost $1. There's like $1, $3, and $5 items, and that's confusing. Some of them are true, what they call 99-cent stores, and they truly don't have anything beyond 99 cents, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I used to love Poundland for getting stuff. Poundland doesn't sound dirty, Jeremy.
It sounds weird. It does sound weird to an American, Emma. It really does. I have to be honest. It doesn't sound dirty to me. It just sounds weird because I think of like pound cake or something.
Oh, okay.
So we don't, the currency, obviously, it makes sense, but it does feel strange to our...
I've never thought about that before. But now every time I see a Poundland, I'm going to think of something else. Thanks, guys. But yeah, we have Poundlands.
We did not have to do that. We did not have to do that.
Frederick is commenting on my blue nose ceremony I did. Have you ever done any kind of cruising ceremonies?
I don't think so. I really want to do one of those polar plunge type things, and I loved your blue nose ceremony. I know exactly what Frederick is talking about.
Yeah, I don't want to do the one that you have to kiss the dead fish. I've seen some of those ones. That doesn't sound good.
No, thank you on the dead fish. I love that. We'll vlog it if we do it.
Absolutely.
I thought this was a family. Oh yeah, I thought this was a family channel. Sorry, Stouffer. What have we done?
We
didn't do it. But Matt from Royal Caribbean Vlog, he said that means something very different in the United States.
Well, I understand. I think the same thing in the UK. I know what you mean by Poundland, but no. Right. Poundland doesn't sound dirty. We do have 99p shop as well. If you only have 99p. I don't think that's... Yeah. Emma, do you come to Florida often to cruise? No, not really. I have cruised out of Florida a couple of times. I did the first cruise I did with Jono was because I booked flights to Miami really, really cheap. Looked at planning it, realized that staying in Miami is very expensive. And I thought a cruise is literally cheaper than just staying on land. Plus, we had all-inclusive drinks. It was with Norwegian Cruise Line, and it was a really good cruise. I didn't really do much in any of the ports because I didn't go on that cruise to go to those places. So yeah, I have done a couple of times. I need to have a cup of tea, guys. I'm sorry.
Grab some tea. I'll sip with you. We need to get you a tea warmer, like a little, because my tea's cold now. Is yours cold?
Well, it's peppermint tea, so people drink this cold anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Very refreshing, actually. That sounds so good.
It is a lovely, lovely, lovely. Would you cruise to Antarctica? In theory, yes. It's not top of my to-book list because if I was going to cruise to Antarctica, I'd want to go on one of those discovery yachts or something that's way out of my price range. I visited the Scenic Eclipse, which is a discovery yacht. I visited her for the day. She's got submarines, helicopters. That's what I would want to do, but you're looking at £1,000 a night, something like that. It's like having your own yacht, and I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. But yeah, I'd like to cruise to Antarctica. That'd be really cool. I'm not going to visit Antarctica any other way, am I? Really?
Probably not. Good question. 100%. I would love to do it. It is at the top of our list. My son wants to see penguins, and Princess offers some really incredible voyages down there. You cross Drake's Passage, and then you have several days of scenic cruising in the Antarctic Peninsula. So that's something that if I were to pick one cruise I could go on tomorrow, it would be that. And their season, like their summer in Antarctica is the winter. So like December and January are the best times to go there. So Everleigh, that is on the top of our list.
Yeah, it's something I've never looked at. We even have Morgan in the house. The thing that you've missed, Morgan, is we've had pretty much every creator in here. Morgan came on and did our live chat a few weeks ago, which was amazing. If anyone has any suggestions on who else they would like me to hunt down to do this, that would be really cool. So I've had Morgan, I've had Tony, you're here, I've had various other people too. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm here every Friday, which is cool. We're nearly done with our hour, which is this is the fastest hour of the week for me. It doesn't feel like it at all. I think it's because I don't really have the time to talk to everybody in real life anymore because pandemic. So getting to speak for an hour. We've got traveling with Bruce in the house. We literally have everybody. Traveling with Bruce. Been on mine too. So yeah, my goodness. Hi to everybody who is in here. I think we should wrap this up if that's all right with you. I like to stick to my exact hour because I promise people an hour, and I think if they give me an hour of their time, I'm very grateful to them. So very grateful to you for managing to find some spare time in your very, very busy life. I have no idea how you do everything you do.
Oh, thank you so much, Emma. It's absolutely a pleasure. And it's time management is all about choices, right? Like you make the choices. Is it Game of Thrones? Is it a bath? Or is it editing the website? Sometimes it's all three. But no, I really appreciate you. You are such an inspiration to me. And I love everything that you do, everything you create, and the way that you serve your community is just awesome.
Thank you so much. You're so kind and wise and kind. So yeah, I actually have a new YouTube video coming out in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I moved it because I thought that you guys might get fed up of too much Emma on Fridays with a live stream and a new video. So I tried to move it, but it just didn't fit well with me. I like Fridays. So I have a new video. It's about the vaccines and I spoke to some people about if we're going to have enforced vaccines. I don't think we are anytime soon, but I've seen a lot of people freaking out about this. So I wanted to set the record straight on a few things. I mean, there are countries you can't go to without certain vaccines, certain things you can't do without certain vaccines. But I think at least in the short term, it's not going to be that anybody who cruises in 2021 has to have this vaccine because, yeah, I don't think that's going to work. So that's coming out in 2 minutes. We've got so many people in here who are saying that this has been great and they love us. Thank you so much. You're so kind, unbelievably kind. We've got Emily in here. Bruce says this has been great. Just made it in time, as in with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go, but we appreciate it. And you can watch all of these on catch up, so feel free to watch them later. Who could tire of Emma Cruises? Thank you, appreciate it. I hope you're going to watch my video after this one. Richard says goodbye. Thanks for a good hour. Richard puts together lots of my trivia questions for me, and he reads a lot of my blog posts for me and tells me when I've done things wrong. So appreciate that, Richard, because it's tricky. Billy says that cup is as big as your face. Lol. It is. It absolutely is. Right. I'm going to let everybody get off. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been loads of fun. And I'll be back here same time, same place next time. Make sure you're following Sheri. If you're not, I can't believe that you're not if you like cruising and you're on YouTube. But in case you're not, Sheri, Cruise Tips TV. You say goodbye.